What's up, everyone? I recently purchased the Sony SA-RS5s, those right there. And what it's supposed to do is give you a more immersive sound when it comes to, I have the Sony SA-A5000, which is a 5.1 soundbar. Still interested me how you got 5.1 speakers within the soundbar, but that's what it is, right? They got two speakers up top, so you got the firing, get the little Atmos effect to it. And I also have, make sure I get this name right, the Sony SA-SW5 300 watt subwoofer, right? So when it comes down to like a wireless system, this is like top notch, right? So I recently purchased the RS5s. When you hook them up, they hook up right away. Like I plugged them in, powered them on, turned the subwoofer on, connected without me having to do nothing. Love that. Love that. Now, when it comes down to like the overall experience, a little different for me. Like when you set it up and they have this, optimized audio experience when you first set it up, right? It does this little beep noise and it sounds amazing when it's doing the setup and testing, right? And when you get the 360 immersive sound that, the optimized file that they use to show you how good this can sound. Sounds great. Now, sitting here watching content, movies, TV shows, through my experience, certain shows and certain movies optimized for it, some are not, which is to be expected when old files have old Dolby digital type files, right? Let's just say that. But later files that have an Dolby Atmos. So I was watching The Boys. Watching The Boys on this screen and this system sounds great. Some Netflix content with this system sounds great. Certain Disney Plus, not too much. Like certain files optimized for, some files are not. So depending on what kind of content you watch, or basically what app you watch, you'll get the full experience of it. For a wireless system, it's not bad. Now, I've had a wired hardcore system for about 20 years now. It's an old Sony receiver. I don't even know the model number, right? Had these old like DJ speakers from back in the day, all wired, everything, subwoofer crunches, bumps the wall. Love that. So that's a 5.1 system. I could get two more speakers, but I just never got it. I just use a 5.1. I play video games, watch movies, TV shows, and full surround sound, right? Hardwired, you barely have any problems unless speaker blows, receiver goes, things like that. But you can easily replace those, get right back into the, the entertainment part of surround sound. When it comes to this system, now there's like three main soundbars, right? You have the A5000, the A7000. The A7000 is a 7.1.2 system. This is a 5.1.2 system. When you hit a 0.1.2, basically, if you don't know, let me help you out. The soundbar is supposed to have 5 speakers and subwoofers in it. I've had the soundbar by itself, and it doesn't sound good by itself, in my opinion. When you get the subwoofer, the SW5, bumps like crazy. Love it. That's the one I would go with. If you're going to get a subwoofer with this system, get that one. Those two sound great together. When I added the RS5s, they were supposed to have like speakers and shooting speakers to help out with the sound bouncing off the ceiling and coming down. They give you this 360 immersive sound. Like I said, certain content sounds great. Some content, not as great, right? Only issue that I have with a wireless system is not even the system itself. It's the longevity connection, right? Some things drop out. Sometimes you have no problem. That can be a problem down the line. But right now, I'm enjoying the system because this is in my living room, right? And I have a 5.1 surround sound in the man cave, right? And 65-inch TVs in my living room and in my basement. So as far as entertainment, I got the full setup ready to go. I've been listening to this wireless system for about 2 weeks now, and I really enjoy what it brings. I am a little nitpicking when it comes to things like directional sound, right? Like if I play a video game on the system downstairs that's hardwired, I can move the camera around and hear it in different speakers. Right. In this system, it doesn't quite do that. Now, I do have a PlayStation on here. Now, that's a little different. Now, I have an Xbox downstairs and a PlayStation downstairs where I hear the difference within the systems. Not a knock on none of them. It's just when I'm coming from a system where I can swing the camera around and hear him talking in this speaker, or swing the camera all the way around, he'll be talking in that speaker or the side speaker right here. I'm used to that. So having a soundbar system that kind of mimicking that, but is not really full on the directional sound I'm used to hearing. Not a knock on it, it's just something I've heard, through my experience. And this is an expensive system, right? Because I think the soundbar runs about $1,000, depending on which one you get. The 7.1 one, 7,000 is about 1,400. Subwoofer is about 600, and these speakers about 500. So very expensive system for a wireless system, which works great when everything's working. But like I said, I haven't had any issues with connection. Everything works fine. Like I said, I plugged these in, they connected, no problems. And like I said, I was kind of a little misled, right? Because when I watch videos of these speakers and they say, oh, this full immersive sound, I was like, okay, let me check this out. So when I got it, it had, all, like when you set it up, sounds great. It makes your room like pump. It really does. But when you start watching certain content, only certain content takes full advantage of that experience. Like I said, the boys sound great on this system. I was watching that Netflix animated show Blue Eye Samurai. Sounds great on the system, right? So certain content on apps optimized for Dolby Atmos, right? So not all the content is optimized for it, which is to be expected, like old files, things like that. But like I said, for the overall experience, I can't complain. I like it. Now, will I recommend this type of system for the average person who probably doesn't really care? Nah, not at all. I do recommend a soundbar. Only reason because you ain't got to get like a high end one that costs about $600. You'll get a nice soundbar and subwoofer that comes with it. Good. Like I have the LG. I don't know the model, but in some cases, in my experience, that's just a soundbar and a subwoofer, and it sounds in some content I watch sounds better on that than it does down here. Don't ask me how, but that's just how it is. Like certain content on that soundbar sounds amazing. On this soundbar, it has the full 360 experience, but it's not as optimized as I would like to hear in certain things. So like I said, I wouldn't recommend if you're not a big enthusiast about audiophile and when you like to listen to surround sound. I wouldn't recommend it if you're not that big into it. Regular old TV and sound, probably just fine. But for me, who loves the immersive feeling of being in surround sound, I definitely recommend it. But like I said, you got options here. Like you got the little high end, less expensive than the high end models, and like there's other subwoofers. But I've always been the type of guy who wants to hear that thump so bad you think the wall will crack. I love that. When it's thumping and you think that wall gonna crack, that's me. That's how I like it. But not everybody's like that. So for me, the overall recommendation would be big on surround sound, audio, go for it. Nah. Because it's expensive. If you get all this together, you probably get a better deal as far as the package. I got each part separate because when I first saw the soundbar, I was like, all right, I'm going to just get that. They saying it's 5.1 set. So when I got it, I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So let me get a subwoofer. And they had two of them. I think it's a little smaller one. And then they got the big SW5. Went with that one. Once I hooked that up, couldn't go wrong, right? Then I seen these two, the RS5s. I was like, all right, they talking about this 360 immersive experience, Atmos bounces off the ceiling, all that. I was like, cool, let me get that. Got those. When you connect them, like I said, it sounds great. And you start to hear the details and all that. Sounds great. When you started watching some content, not as enthused as I was when I was like, I'm not really feeling the thump like I thought I would. But certain content takes full advantage of this. And you start to hear the little details of certain sound effects in the background when it comes to this. Not all of that. So if you're into like thinking all your content is going to sound great, it's not. So don't get disappointed with that. But I like them so far. Like I said, it's an expensive system, but I'm a big entertainment guy. Like I do want to go to like a studio setup or whatever where Adobe Atmos system is like fully optimized. Speakers on the ceiling, side, walls, all that. I do want to experience that because I've always been big on surround sound, playing games, watching movies, TV shows, the way it's meant to be watched. That's just me. That's just how I like it because I've been listening to surround sound for over 20 years. So for me, it's second nature for me. So when I hear things I don't normally hear, I'll be like, hold on, that's not this, that, but it's a different system. And it's giving you basically the illusion of a 5.1 system that surrounds you without having all the clutter and speakers everywhere. So that's pretty much my overall thoughts of these for right now. Give it a little bit more time. I'll give you another update on them. See if any pros and cons that got better, got worse over time. You'll check it out later. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you like this type of content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys once again for watching this. If you liked it, I will see you next time.